Quinshon Judkins from Ohio State. I'm referring to him as Kid Juddy. I don't know. During this year watching Ohio State games, I started calling him Kid Juddy, and that's it. But he's an Ohio State running back. Played at Ole Miss before transferring to Ohio State for the last 2 years. So he only played 3 years in college. 3 back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. 1,500 yards as the feature back at Ole Miss. And in the last 2 years, he was he split kind of running back by committee with Travion Henderson. But yeah, in the 3 years, total combined 50 touchdowns between receiving and rushing within 3 years in college, which is pretty good. Pretty good.
Doing some work.
Man, I mean, insane. You guys haven't watched his highlights, you guys need to look up this guy's stuff. He's unreal. And we were talking about the RAS scores, the athleticism scores. This guy, not quite on JD's level, but pretty close. 9.95 for this guy. 9.95 for RAS scores. I know a lot of people love the RAS scores. So we've measured it 5'11", 221 pounds. So this guy is a load. 221, man. I mean, he hits like a brick. I mean, this guy bounces off carriers. Kind of to me, I've seen some draft experts call him a Kareem Hunt, kind of a Kareem Hunt kind of running back. He can do it all. I've seen some call him an Alvin Kamara kind of hybrid with Kareem Hunt, which is interesting because he can catch the ball out of the backfield, and he's also a good pass protector as a running back too. So he ran a 4.4 840-yard dash, 11-foot broad jump, 38.5-foot vertical. Like I said, 3 down back, pass catcher, pass protector. Kareem Hunt, Alvin Kamara, Joe Mixon. So I did talk to one of my guys at Michigan State. I asked pretty much Henderson, Judkins, who's better between the Ohio State running backs? Because there's a lot of Chief fans really like Henderson, and Henderson's good too. There's just very different type of running backs. There's 2 totally different type of guys. Henderson's more of a burner. He gets to go 88 out the gate kind of guy, whereas Judkins is going to do it all for you. So I just asked who's better between the two. He said different type of guys are both really good. They're both solid, but Judkins is the better back between the two of them. And you can just see it. I mean, it just pops off. I'll tell you what, though, he's going to need to get some make his pants go a little bit lower in the NFL because his knees are going to get dominated because those things are completely exposed with no knee pads there. I mean, I know he wants to show off his legs, but come on. But yeah, in talking to some of the guys at Michigan State, they said he reminded them of Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon, obviously, if you look at his college tape, Joe Mixon was do-it-all kind of guy at Oklahoma. And we've seen him do it all in the NFL as well. But yeah, Judkins is that guy. Judkins is the cool stat that I talked to JD before Teja came on. So I'm going to ask the chat, and I'm going to also ask Teja here. So Judkins is the first running back since 2003 to weigh 220 plus pounds, to have an 11-foot broad jump and a sub 4.540 at the combine. Can you guess who that other running back was from 2003?
He was drafted in 2003.
He's the first. So Judkins is the first running back since 2003 to be 220 plus pounds, to have an 11-foot broad jump, and have a sub 4.540 at the combine. Who was the running back from 2003? He's very close to this show if you think about it that way. You owned his jersey, Teja, and JD. There's a lot of photos of JD with this guy
from 2003.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Don Peterson.
Yeah, Don Peterson got it. Grandmama, baby.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
And Teja had his number 34 Larry Johnson jersey before he became 27.
Right.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Okay.
Right.
So, I mean, again, 5'11", 220. The guy, I mean, I've seen some of his, I was looking at like the NFL.com's like his weaknesses. I mean, I just think, so his weaknesses are hips are too tight for sharp angles as a one-cut runner, lacks spatial awareness for smooth trips through the interior, below average speed to outrace pursuit and stack explosive runs. I mean, the guy had multiple runs of over 20 yards this year. And like, lacks the speed. I mean, the guy ran a 4.48. I mean, I don't know if he lacks the speed with the 1.5 split from a 10-yard split. So I don't really get some of the weaknesses there. But obviously, I've seen anywhere from round 3 to early round 2 with Quinshon Judkins. So curious what you guys think. I know we like trenches here. We've been talking about trenches with this, but how would you guys see Quinshon Judkins kind of working within our offense?
I think he'd be a great back for us. I don't know if I take him that high. And I think how they talk about it, like the speed and whatnot, like is the breakaway speed as he pulling away from guys. How does he look? That is always the question, right? Patience in the one cut, in one cut, that's all you need a guy to do, and then get north and south. That's it. I don't want the guy back there dancing if you don't need to be. This sucker right here is put together. If you that big, you don't need to be dancing in the backfield. You don't. Shoot, if you do, we need to go on and pull the ball away from you and until you have a seat over here, right? I want you one cut and go, and you hit it. Go hit your head on the goalpost. One thing with that, man, is you talk about comparable to Larry Johnson. Well, Larry Johnson, this thing, I never seen LJ go get ran down. I ain't never seen nobody go get LJ. LJ got to the win, it was over. That was it. Cancel Christmas. He's out the gate. And I see this guy right here probably doing the same. And the thing is, when you're splitting time with guys, obviously it's all about getting into the rhythm of things. If he's the guy, he's the man, shoot, no telling what you'll get. And so I would love to see a guy like that here where, you start feeding him the rock, get him going, shoot, no telling what you'll be able to get. So I was kind of reading some of those things with just some of the weaknesses that they were saying, right? It's like, okay, because some games it's like he wasn't able to get loose. I think they said maybe 4 games, and so there might have been a knock on him. But so they'll average less than 4 yards per carry in 5 of the 9 conference games during the 2024 regular season. All right, well, shoot, we just need for him to warm up when he needs to warm up, in the right time for us to get going. But that's the only thing. I don't know if I take him out high, Marcus. Obviously running backs is one of those positions. So,
yeah, it's the running backs deep in this draft. But I saw that too, JD. It's such a cherry pick stat to try to give a negative to a guy. I mean, his average with 2024, he averaged 5.5 yards per carry. 2023, 4.3 yards per carry, and then 2022, when he was the featured back at Ole Miss, 5.7 yards per carry. So, I mean, in totality, pretty good. And also, too, because the one of the things is that I've seen as a knock towards him and Henderson is the fact that they ran behind such a good O-line at Ohio State, all these guys being 5-star guys, yada, yada, yada. But then you look at Tommy Jackson, yeah. But then you look at Ole Miss.
Josh Simmons.
Yeah, not Josh Simmons. Well, 5 games with Josh Simmons, Teja.
I'm just kidding. I'm pro Simmons.
Hey, he might have averaged probably 6 if he had Josh Simmons.
We should maybe backtrack, see where his good games came from.
That's true. But you look at his best season as the feature back, obviously was at Ole Miss. They have good linemen. I'm not knocking them, but they're not guys who are going in rounds 1 through 2 every year like Ohio State does. So he's shown it with not a 5-star O-line, but then also showed what he can do as being a 1A and 1B with Henderson with the good O-line at Ohio State. So I think he's kind of shown it all.
I'm not against Judkins at all. It's not really a knock on him. It's just the RB class is so deep. It is so deep. And do you want to invest a second round pick to what? 11 carries a game? Hey, if you told me we're going to commit to the run next year, really commit to it, yeah, sure. But I just haven't seen enough evidence to know that we're going to do that. And if we're not going to do that, then I'm sorry, I don't want to pick a running back that high. That's all it comes down to. It has nothing to do with his talent. There are just so many. I'd say it's funny what we've done today. running back and DT are probably the deepest positions in this draft. Which is why I started looking at like the 3rd round guys and 4th round guys at DT. At running back, I've spent most of my time. I mean, it's fun to look at Judkins, he's so damn impressive, but I spent most of my time looking at like the most running backs I've looked at, like the 4th to 6th round range, those guys, because that's where I think we're so picky. And I think we can make it work. I think Pacheco's success with us and the Damian Williams and the Wares and the guys who we've plugged in, who weren't necessarily touted as all-world running backs across the league. I don't think we need to do that. I don't think we need to go invest a high pick at a running back. I think we can find our guy in the 4 through 6 range. I really think we do.
No, I think you're right. I think we have, bigger needs than that. And so, I could think of, 2 more positions that probably get before, RB. I'm looking at DT, defensive end, corner. You could even say linebacker. Like you said, a running back, because you're so deep, you're going to be able to get guys. But like you said, if you're doing, 25 carries a game, yeah, a little different, right? You go look for a Bijan Robinson or those guys. So I'm sitting there looking right here. Can you get a guy that can do those things? And shoot, maybe the 2nd pick in the 4th round or the 5th round guy, possibly getting somebody that that can fit with what you do, right? Especially the Chiefs. I mean, we're getting offensive line because we want to air the ball out. Andy, those guys have made it a point that this is what we're going to do. We're going to throw the football. Now, they might incorporate maybe a little bit more running this year, right? Because you have to. But I don't, does he? How far does he fall?
I also think too, like when you're looking at the overall draft, and like we've said to begin this whole show, like because of how top heavy we are, we need as many starters and like contributors as possible, right? And I think you're gonna have a higher percentage of drafting other positions earlier who can contribute at those positions. I think you can get a contributing running back in rounds 4 to 6, a guy who can still maybe be your starter day one, possibly. If he can beat out Pacheco, then by all means. So that's kind of my thinking too. Like you'd have a higher percentage of going D end, maybe receiver, just for example, like linebacker and DT from rounds 1 to 3, all of which can possibly be heavy contributors or starters. And then you can still get your running back at 132. You can still get your running back. I personally think we're going to trade back in one of our picks and get a pick in rounds 5 and 6. A running back in round 5, right? I think you can still get that. It works to our advantage, really, because running back is so damn deep. It's great. It's a great problem to have.
Yeah.
But with the success of Barkley and the formula apparently running the ball, who knew? You're going to see maybe teams be like, we need that, right? And they're going to maybe pull a trigger on some of these guys who maybe have a higher chance of being a Barkley, right? Than other guys later on in the draft that have more holes to their game. But I think we're just so specific about certain. I don't think we even look for 3 down guys anymore. I think we just look for guys that can give us something at running back, specific thing at running back,
Yeah, for sure. And look, Barkley is just one of those freaks of nature.
Yeah,
you ain't gonna be able to find a guy like that. I mean,
that's like looking for Mahomes, JD.
Yeah, right. It's far and few between you'll be able to get a job, at Joker. Sure. So, I get it.
And right before we came on, it was reported that we have met with Judkins. So there is that interest there as well. Where if you take that for what you will, if if the meeting with a player means something, then I guess they're. But at least we're on the right track here. They're doing their due diligence on the positions that we've talked about tonight: the D tackle, the D ends, the running back. So like that, at least we're kind of spot on with them on the needs for this team.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And so, like you were saying, just because of the depth of these guys, you might talk to a guy, but he may fall to second or third round, right? And so, shoot, there's some, like you said, there's going to be legit guys, fourth round still. Defensive tackles like, hey, we'll take it. Yeah, by all means, absolutely. So,
because if you look at one position, let's say, I'm just total example. Let's say the number 3 linebacker, so the number 5 linebacker is rated 2 points higher than the number 12 linebacker. But let's say the number 5 running back is rated like half point better than the number 12 running back. You just have that. You have that flexibility to be like, okay, that position's running out soon. We need it, and we like him. We like 6 running backs right now who I'm okay with drafting the next few rounds. I like them all. Do I like Judkins more than some of these guys? I saw someone mention Tootin earlier. Big Tootin fan. He might be one of my guys later on I talk about.
I feel like he's going to get overdrafted because of his 40 time.
Maybe, but then we thought Worthy was going to be top 20 because of his 40 time, and but RJ Harvey, Neal, I like so. There's just so many guys are running like the DTs. We could do the entire draft season on DTs, and we would not run out of guys to talk about. There's just so many. But yeah, I just think for us, I just think it would be better to wait. That's the only reason. It's not a knock on Judkins at all.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.